What are we going to talk about?
We
Oh, I
got
forgot.
this.
I don't have my notebook.
It
Oh,
ain't gonna
it's
be a
not.
long, serious conversation. It's a lighthearted, normal
I
conversation.
am. I am live, and y'all just talking. You know what? Don't even worry about the 2 minute countdown. Happy Mother's Day, everybody. We're just
Oh
gonna.
no.
Hi. It's okay. It's okay.
Hello, hello, everyone. We are on Bougie Girl Cyber Happy Hour live. We back here talking, and we supposed to have a countdown. But anyway, so welcome, Happy Mother's Day. We want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the queens out there, all the amazing mothers, all the women who are mothers to biological children or spiritual mothers, stepmothers, godmothers, everybody who's a mother. You've adopted someone as far as you've taken them under your wing. We just want to say Happy Mother's Day to you all, and you all are a blessing. Without moms, where would we be? We wouldn't be here, right? So we are so grateful for our mothers. We have all of us on here. All three of us are mothers, and then my son is on here, Markel. So we're going to talk about just really briefly, spend some time appreciating mothers. So that's what we're doing right now.
Yes.
So go around and introduce yourselves.
So everybody know me, or should at this point. I'm Elena, and in the corner down there is my mom, Joyce, and I'm a mother of Marley. I'm sure y'all see her on this channel every once in a while. Y'all be able to see her little face.
All right,
So
my name is
I'm
Markel Allen. I am Miranda's son. I am not a mother, but I'm on here supporting the mothers.
and I'm Joyce Houston. I'm Elena's mother and the mother of Lawrence and Judith. And of course, I'm the mother of Derek, Cheo, and Ashley, mother and love of them.
we're just on here just really wanting to talk about motherhood and just sharing with mothers, just wanting to talk to
I can't.
mothers and just talk about our appreciation for mothers on this channel on today. So I will get started. So I have three children, three amazing children. Markiel is one of them. He is my oldest, my firstborn, my ride or die. He always has my back. I can always rely on him. I have one daughter in the middle. She is my little queen. She is, a handful. Daughters are a handful. So anyway, and then I have my youngest son. He is 15 years old. All my children are in different states, so I'm out here celebrating Mother's Day in Texas. But I'm able to FaceTime, and we were on FaceTime this morning. So we had a really good time this morning. It was a blessing. So I am really thankful to be a mother because, my Markiel, I had my son when I was in college. So he has been with me through the thick of it all, from the very beginning. He's always been there and he's always had my back no matter what. He's always been there for me. Yesterday or a couple of days ago, he prayed for me. And just to hear him praying and just to know that, wow, my son can pray it through. So just so very grateful for my children. So that's just a little bit about my own children.
Yeah,
Cool.
I just have one little girl, Marley. She's 3, and she keep me on my toes because she's in that 3 year old phase, which my mother didn't warn me about. But it's okay. I still love you.
Well,
Two.
uh,
So,
Elena, Judith, and Lawrence are my three, and Ashley, Cheo, and Derek are my in loves. And I have 7 grandchildren
wow.
that I love greatly. Am I
Uh,
hearing an echo? Is anyone? Am I
yes,
echoing,
you are
guys?
echoing. Yes, you are.
Okay, I have these in.
So,
Okay, I
Markel,
don't hear it
would you
anymore.
like to talk about just your appreciation for, I guess, moms, or when you see other moms around, like your auntie or other moms around? Would you like to talk a little bit about,
Yeah,
child
definitely.
from a child's
I think
perspective?
I think in my generation, you see a lot of younger moms. I'm 26 years old, so you see a lot of moms that are a little bit younger than me, especially just in where I work. I work at a retail store, at a Sprint store, so just meeting different moms, helping them out, and kind of just seeing what they go through on an everyday basis, just talking to them and getting a feel for them. But I just really want to support and show just virtual love, honestly, right now, literally, and actually just words of encouragement to the mothers because they always do a lot and put up with a lot. So mothers don't honestly get the credit they deserve sometimes. So I'm glad we can do this so we can just kind of just reverence the mothers out there, especially the mothers on the live right now.
Thank you.
Thank you. So Joyce, you want to continue to tell us about your children and your, I know you were saying you have grandchildren and stuff like that. You want to talk to us a little bit more about that?
Well, just being a mother, is such a blessing. There's so many attributes to raising children and then watching your children raise their children and having someone to look up to you.
Hmm.
It's been quite a journey. And Elena, I think I did kind of warn you about 3-year-olds. I think I've told you a few times about how you were as a 3-year-old. The
I
little
was
Uh-oh.
a
climber
perfect
that,
child.
of course,
Of course she
the
was.
little climber, the little climber that you're experiencing, that was you. The little glitter queen, because Morley likes glit and glam, that was
Uh-oh.
you.
Look.
So I think I've kind of warned you about all of these wonderful things. But you know what? I think that, like I said, there's so many wonderful attributes to being a mother. And, I just want women everywhere to be encouraged, that it's such a blessing, that God has bestowed on us to just be mothers. Um, so many desire it, and it's not something that can be accomplished. But I want to encourage those women because my pastor said something very significant this morning. He said that you could be a mother by motherhood transcends biology. Some people have not had children naturally on
Right.
from their own bodies, but they have mothered many. So
Right.
there's great opportunity for women, period, to be that figure in someone's life. So not only have I helped my children along, but I have mothered others, and I'm such a nurturer. I've had people to tell me at times, "You're not my mama." But that's my personality. I'm a
Right.
nurturer. I'm a mother. I
Right.
just take people on and I nurture them without even trying. It's just a part of my nature. And
Right.
I know my children can attest to that their friends along the years have often come to me for motherly advice and just felt that nurturing spirit. So I'm
Right.
just thankful. I'm just thankful that God gave me that attribute that I can nurture, just be a nurturer.
Right. Right. So, Elena, would you like to share like any experiences growing up with Miss Joyce Houston?
Oh God.
No, my mom is one of the moms that she's a mom of action. So every time we needed something or the school needed something or anybody needed something, she was always there. Like you said, she'll nurture. She want to make stuff sure things are right and that her children had and all the other kids around us had too. So,
Right.
like I think she created boosters for the schools. She got um like at one point didn't you help get the playground for one of the schools that we was at.
Hmm.
We was doing a car wash once and I remember they didn't supply us with food and stuff like that, so my mom was like, she ran out, she went got all us water, pizza and stuff, and she just came and provided the food. So she was just one of the moms that just made sure we had what we had or had what we needed.
Right.
And I appreciate it. Hopefully I could be that mom. I don't know.
You will.
You are.
You
You
will.
are.
Yeah, I
Marcia,
wanted
would
to
you
share
like to
something too
share?
as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
I wanted to share something one time. So
I
being
can't hear
21,
you.
22. Oh, you can't hear me? Can you hear me now?
I can
Yeah.
hear you.
Okay. But just being 21, 22 in Vegas, going out, living that nightlife sometimes, just trying to have fun. you're out late sometimes. You're out till 3, 4 in the morning. And I remember one time I was living with my mom at the time, and I was coming home late, stumbling in the house. To be honest, I'm not proud of that moment, but she was downstairs praying for me, praying that I would come home safe. And I opened the door, and she was like, "Thank God that my son made it home safe." And she continued to pray as I walked upstairs, and that stuck with me. I tell people to this day that she did that, and I love that, and I appreciate that, and I thank God for a prayer warrior of a mother that she is. She's always praying for us and always holding us down. And honestly, I feel those prayers every day that I wake up. During this virus situation, I've been smart about it. I'm not going around touching people and with my mouth everywhere and not washing my hands, but just being not being scared, knowing that God is covering me, knowing that I'm covering the blood of Jesus because my mom prays for me every single day, and having that spiritual confidence that I could walk outside and know that God's gonna cover me when I'm talking to people or just grocery shopping. So I just thank God for my mom being a prayer warrior because I feel her praying for me every day, honestly.
Thank you, Markel, for sharing that. I mean, I'm just grateful because my mom prayed for us as well. I know I'm still here on this earth because of my mom's
Mm-hmm.
prayers. I know that, just like Markel had his story of his episodes, I've had mine as well. My mom meet me at the door I'm coming in at late at night. And I know she was praying for me as well because I wouldn't be here if she wasn't praying for me. I believe that.
Right.
So I feel like, leaving that legacy, I feel like as moms, we're leaving legacies with the little things that we do that will impact our children as we're going forward. So I feel like leaving a legacy of prayer is important to me. I would always gather them up at night before we go to bed. They would be rolling their eyes and everything, but I would make them stand in a circle with me and we would just pray every night, because I wanted them to understand the power of prayer. And, when somebody was sick or something was happening or whatever, we were in a situation, I was like, you guys, let's pray, or even now, they call me, let's pray, and I know that that is a legacy I want to leave with my own children. But I want to share something about Markel. Markel's been very intelligent all of his life, very smart, very much a go-getter, and just has been a great son throughout the years, never really given me a hard time. He's always been there as far as being consistent with his behavior. He's given me some, he tried to buck up a couple of times, and, I had to go ahead and say, look, I still the mom. But overall, that's typical. But I just am grateful overall. He's covered me, protected me when we're out. He opens the door for me. He pulls out my chair. He's such a gentleman, and I love to brag on him because I'm like, there's not a lot of young men who are gentlemen nowadays. And my son, I believe, is one of the few gentlemen out there in his age range, who is still kind and courteous to women and respectful. So I just want
That's
to give my
awesome.
son kudos about that.
Appreciate it.
Joyce, you want to share
Thank you
any
very much.
Well,
powerful
I
stories or
cannot,
inspiring
you know,
stories?
I cannot allow you to brag on your son without me bragging on mine.
Yeah, you know
Right.
what? Go
I
ahead.
really think it's a great thing that young men today know how to honor their mothers, because if you can honor your mother, you honor women. And
Right.
so it all stems from you learning, the value of a woman, and a nurturer and a mother. So, I thank God, that I have a son who has grown up to be such a gentleman. He loves his wife, he loves his family, he's a great provider. Um, he's always making sure that they have everything, and he loves his mom. So I thank God for that.
Thank
Good.
you for
I'm
Mama's
that.
boy.
listening to. Yeah, he might be a mama's boy, but that's okay.
Me
That's
too.
okay.
Me
Okay.
too.
I
Me
mean,
too. I tell people that all the
That's
time. I
okay
don't care.
because mama's boys, when mamas let them go, become great husbands. And
amen.
so once he married his wife, I stepped back, and he's a great husband to his wife. So I don't mind that. He knows who his mom, he knows his mama has his back. If he ever needs me, he knows he can call me. But he doesn't call me because, I don't interfere in their business. And I can say that about all of my kids being a mother. If my children need my advice and they call and ask for it,
Hmm.
they'll get it. But
Right.
otherwise, I'm not in their business. I don't know what goes on in their households.
Right.
That's what they need to learn how to handle their business, and I can step back for that. But if you ask me for my opinion, you're gonna get
You
it.
gotta get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my mama know with me, even if she try to give me her opinion, I'll be like, Mama, I got this.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
that's my truly,
Yeah,
truly
right,
independent child. You know, she's like, mm-mm,
right. That's how
mm-mm.
Markel
See,
does
what I
me.
do
Like,
is I give my mom the uh-huh. I'm like, oh yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
right,
Sure.
exactly.
Yeah,
And I'm
you're right.
like,
I got
really?
you.
Right.
Okay.
I know he's not
I gotta go,
listening.
mom. See you later.
Right. That's how he kind of brushes me off. I'm like, really? I'm trying to like, and I had to learn how to step back because a lot of times I would, it seemed like every time I was talking to them or they would share something with me, I would be kind of fussing or trying to lecture them or something like that. And I had to realize I can't always lecture them. I have to listen to them in love and just be like, okay, well, and see if they are wanting some advice or just wanting me to listen. I think as
Sometimes, yeah.
mothers, we just have to listen to what they're saying, allowing them to vent and to get some things out that, things they're going through. So, and just really learning how to listen to my children instead of always feeling like I got to interject or say something or give them some type of, a wisdom because maybe they don't need that all the time. I'm sure they remember what I've told them, so they just want to just let me
Hmm.
know, hey, this is what's going on. So I'm learning that. I'm still learning. So
Yeah, but mothers are like, we want to just fix everything. We don't want to see our children go through anything. But as I was talking to one of my girlfriends years ago, I told her, because her child was going through something very difficult.
right,
And I told her, I said, you know what? You're going to have to step back and let them go through it. And
right,
she was like, but I don't, long conversation. I said, you know what? We don't want our children to go through anything hard, but God allowed his child to die
right,
so that we can have a better life. So sometimes we have to step back and let them just go through it so that they can get the lesson, learn from it, and be
right,
better. Yeah.
exactly.
So we're
And that's
learning as
hard,
mothers.
right?
It's hard. It's hard.
Especially if you're seeing them hurting, or now my son is older, so we're talking about relationships now. Him and I have those relationship conversations. And sometimes, he's telling me stuff and it's just heartbreaking because it's like, wow, I really don't want him to have to go through these things. I don't really want to have him to really have to experience this heartache, but I think sometimes it's really necessary. So when the right woman comes along, he understands a little bit better about relationship and how to handle certain situations. So,
Hmm.
yeah, Elena, you have anything you want to say? Any other things you want to add? Because so if you're just now joining us, everyone, we're just on here appreciating motherhood and mothers and our children, and so myself, my son Markel is on here, Elena and Joyce, they are mother and daughter. So we're just on here appreciating our children, sharing stories of motherhood, and the things that we're trying to instill in our own children. So again, happy Mother's Day, everyone out there. We really are grateful for mothers. I'm grateful for my mother. She lives in Tennessee. I don't get to see her often, but I talk to her almost every week on the phone. We order her food today and had it delivered. So we try to do little things for her. But I'm just very grateful that I have my mother, still in my life and able to speak with her and be there if she needs me, pray with her. And again, that she left that legacy. She's leaving that legacy of prayer because she even calls me now and say, Mom, Miranda, pray with me, or I want you to pray. Let's pray together. I want to pray about this. And I just really am grateful for that and humbled because, you really don't think like, wow, my mother wants me to pray for her or whatever. So, it's just a blessing. So
Wow.
I'm grateful for my mother.
Yeah, and I think that's where
Amen.
my mom gets her prayer life from too. Because I remember waking up and she would be in her little prayer room and she used to do her motor. I don't know if you still do it probably. She'll be up in there
Hmm.
on a she wouldn't be on a sofa. She'll be kneeling by the sofa with her Bible, praying,
Hmm.
slinging oil. She used to come and put oil on our heads. We almost got in trouble one time because she thought that we slung spaghetti on the walls and there was just oil that she done slung on the walls over the
Right,
years that turned brown.
right,
But
exactly.
I'm learning and now developing my own prayer time and devotion in the morning because that's what I was used to seeing. And
Right,
I'm very stubborn. I can admit that. And I'm seeing now the benefit of actually waking up and praying for my family because then it gives me a better time during my day. and to be more level headed throughout my day when I do get up and pray and spend that
Right.
time. So I learned that from my mom, and I know she learned that from my grandmother because my grandmother was a praying
Yes,
woman.
Lord.
Yeah.
She was very
Yes.
proactive, and
Right.
she definitely left a legacy of strong
Right.
women and strong godly women.
Right. And that's
That's
so
good.
Yes.
awesome. Joyce, you want to speak a little bit about your mother? I know your mother has passed, and I mean, you've shared so many amazing stories with me about your mother, about who she was, and, just how awesome she was as a businesswoman and different things like that. So, you want to share a little bit?
Yeah, my mom, honestly, it's amazing how much more not that I didn't appreciate my mom while she was alive, because we
Right.
were, being an only daughter, my mom and I were like best friends. I
Mhm.
spoke to her every day, sometimes 2 and 3 times a day. Sometimes we would sit on the phone and just breathe. We wouldn't really have anything to talk about, but just hearing each other breathe, we felt close.
Yeah.
We'd sit on the phone and watch shows together, but
Wow.
always praying. Always. I can remember her being, even towards the end, her being so sick, and she'd be sitting, and I'd pass by or something, and she'd be humming a spiritual, and then I'd hear her praying. So
Mhm.
she was always praying. I mean, always talking about the Lord and showing her love for the Lord and showing her love for people. My
Right.
mom loved people, and she always found a project. I'd say, she'd see somebody that was in need, and before you know it, she and her 5 children were meeting that need. So my mom instilled a lot of stuff in us about going to see about people and doing things for people. And I find myself doing that today. I don't always
Mhm.
just call somebody to see how they're doing. If I haven't seen somebody in a while, I'm going to see about them. I'll go to see
Right.
about them. And that's what my mom instilled. She would go to see about people. She would clean houses. And I find myself doing the same thing to help people, find ways
Right.
to help people, cooking meals and bringing them. My mom
Right.
was that type of person. So I thank God for her and the
Awesome.
entrepreneurial spirit that my mom had. She didn't just, she sewed it into each one of our lives, and it's fallen into our children's lives. And I can see that now, the legacy that she left to,
Right.
to be independent, even financially.
Right.
She was always thinking of a way to create finances and bring, using her own hands, knowing that God said he would bless, the
Right.
works of her hands. So, great. I, I'm so grateful. I really am grateful for the mother that God allowed me to have.
That's good. It's
Amen to
awesome.
that.
So, Markel, did you have anything else you wanted to share, or any stories that you want to share, or any funny times
Um,
or funny
Oh
moments?
my.
you know what? Just all those times we were joking around with you. Growing up, you were always like the mature, serious one too, and I was always goofy. But we always were close together. My stepdad was always tough on me, so my mom was like my nurturer, like how you say, Miss Joyce, my nurse. She was my nurturer, always there for me, always willing to comfort me when my stepdad was a little bit too tough. And now, just in the future, I appreciate those lessons that he taught me, and I appreciate her nurturing me though, because now when when I'm looking for my wife, or if I have a girlfriend and we're serious, if she doesn't have that nurturing kind of trait, it may be a turn off though, because I feel like that's important when it comes to your wife and it comes to the woman in your life. She has to be able to comfort you, and I kind of got that experience growing up with my mom and just being goofy with her and her laughing at me. Her kind of cracking and she's always being serious, sometimes not messing with my jokes, but her just laughing at it. Those are always times that I love and appreciate. Her just appreciating my goofiness, me not changing as a kid, and her morals that she instilled in me just to be positive and always try to have a positive attitude for the most part. Sometimes you're upset, but hey, you ain't perfect. You, you ain't perfect. But I appreciate just the moms on the call too, Joyce and Elena, just for having that strength as moms and being good moms, because I know it's tough being a mom. I feel like that's one of the toughest jobs in the world, and you guys do it so seamlessly, so easily. So I commend you guys. I feel like women go through a lot that guys don't even realize, and definitely respect it for sure. And I want to let the moms know that for sure.
Thank
Man, if I had another daughter, I'd send her your way.
He thinks that's so
It's
funny.
okay. Well, we praying. We send the prayers up. We send the
Yeah,
prayers up.
the prayers of child. 'Cause, oh,
We send the
Look.
prayers up.
look.
But just I just love just that story. I remember one time living in Vegas doing that nightlife thing, her being there at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, just being ready to come get me. Thinking that everything was gonna hit the fan, and she was always there. Um, at times where I needed something, being in college, and I felt alone, broke, she was always there. So it's tough when you feel like you're alone, but my mom and God is always there. So I appreciate her for being there, always being that support system. Because in college, you're eating ham and cheese all the time, it ain't gonna work.
Right,
Right.
Or eating soul
right.
food on Tuesdays every
Oh
Tuesday.
my
Sometimes I
God.
get tired. I get tired of soul food. I went to Howard University, so you get tired of soul food on Tuesdays. Sometimes
You got tired of soul food? Because this is,
because you're eating it 3 months
I can,
later.
I mean, I can,
15 pounds heavier.
right. Because I know growing up cooking, I would you always like my food. I don't know, Markel, is there a meal you never liked, or because I can rely on him to have
Yeah.
my back when it came to food. Like if I make something, he's like, "Mom, okay." So like that built my confidence with the food. Markel, was there something that I made that you honestly didn't like? You don't have to worry about hurting my feelings right now. So
Uh, Nothing. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. There's nothing you made that I did not like. At least not off the top
Oh,
of my
you
head. I might
so
have to think
sweet,
about it.
I
Markel.
know.
So sweet.
I can't.
I have a very funny story about cooking and my kids. My middle girl Judy, she's always been the most outspoken one. I mean, I think that if my kids had a complaint about something that I was doing or not doing, I think they would just tell Judy to tell me because she would speak up for everybody. She was
That's
always the
funny.
outspoken one.
Right.
But I remember one time, guys, um, I like fried chicken livers. And so they used to
Oh,
serve them at the place that I worked. Lena, you remember this? They used to
Looking at
serve
you
them at the
cooking.
place that I worked like on Tuesdays. So one week I said, I'm going to make my own fried chicken livers at home. And so I picked the chicken livers up and brought them home. And when I got home, I realized that I didn't have any cooking oil. So I was like, oh my God, what can I use? So I had butter. So
I think you told me the story too.
so I
from the
battered
kitchen.
the chicken livers down with flour and put them in the butter. Well, they started getting brown, but it wouldn't get firm like when you fry stuff in oil. It gets crusty. It
Mhm.
never got crusty. It was just kind of like gooey lumps of chicken livers.
Oh,
Okay, so we sat down to the table,
And
and
she still served this. She still served
yeah.
it. Even though it looked
no way.
So we sat down at the table, and I think I had green beans and mashed potatoes with gravy. And so I had these lumps of chicken livers that was in this brown like goo. And so I had it in, and so I was putting it on everybody's plate. And we sat down, and my husband is like the most patient man in the world, y'all. He was just awesome. So everybody was sitting at the table, and we said our prayers and everything. And I'm sitting there about to start eating. And the middle girl, Judy, she looked up and she said, Mom, what we having? Pooh?
No.
And my husband, that was
Wow.
it. He said, babe, I can't eat this. So girlfriend got a big attitude.
she
I
got
started
mad.
jacking the
I
stuff
bet you
off of
she
people's plates
did.
on a fine, I'll eat them myself. And I was slamming it on my plate. But it was terrible.
Oh my gosh.
It was so funny the way she said it. Mom, what we having? Pooh?
Oh my gosh. That would have hurt my feelings. I would have
It
been
was it
upset.
was it was funny. It was funny. Well, it hurt my feelings. I started checking off. I'll just eat it myself.
Right.
But
Exactly.
But
the
I
thing is,
couldn't eat that either.
but the
That's
thing is,
crazy.
my mama is a really good cook. Like she's very, very, very good cook. So most of the stuff that she cooked, I don't know what she was thinking with that one, but That she is one, but
Like, I'm gonna make these chicken livers and I'm gonna improvise it, even if we don't have
my
no
thing is,
food.
why would you think even chicken livers? Why would you think children will eat that anyway?
I just understand.
that that's a meal you cook yourself with nobody else
Right,
around.
right.
Lunch or something.
Exactly. I mean, I tried to make our dinners like I tried to cook fun stuff like spaghetti and lasagna and enchiladas and stuff. And I tried to create little things, but I mean, I'm a picky eater too, so I don't eat, and I didn't make a lot of soul food, I don't think, but I mean, it was always fun. We had some great meals. We would always have company over. We have friends, all their friends over, especially when we started going to church when they were older. I remember those times when their friends were over and we would have food and, we would barbecue and cook. And it was just really fun times, just really being able to,
Yeah.
that's how I show my love to people is by cooking. I mean, Joyce knows that, that's my
Hmm, me too.
love is by cooking. I like to bake. I'm gonna bake you something. I'm gonna create something. We're gonna figure this out. I remember one year Markel's birthday. He was like, "Mom, I want an Oreo cheesecake." I said, "Okay, I'm gonna learn how to do this," and I made it. I don't know if it was that great, Markel. How was it? It was okay.
It was pretty good. I give it a 7 out of 10.
Right.
Uh-oh.
I give it a seven.
You said a
You know,
seven out of 10.
we gonna be
Right.
fair. We gonna be fair. I watch a lot of chopped and cooking shows, so we gotta be fair. But you know what? Like how Miss Joyce was telling
Well,
her story, moms have
okay, Lena, you
determination.
can tell the stories about your mama baking.
Uh
Oh,
oh.
her brownie snaps.
Oh no. She said brownie snaps, and I said I would eat brownie
She
snaps.
decided, and it was box brownies, wasn't it? I don't know
What
how
is
you mess up
Yes, it
how
was.
how you mess up box brownies. It's like literally on the
I
thing,
don't
and
understand.
I don't understand. Did you not have oil for that one too? I don't understand, but they were good. They were just like ginger snaps. They just was like crunchy. I don't understand how you have crunchy brownies.
Wow.
I have never claimed to be a baker. I'm a cook.
And that's the thing. My grandmother, she was a cook, baker. She was,
Your grandmother was a chef, honey, so
yeah, she was a
yeah.
chef.
Yeah.
But I remember my first time I had made a cake. I was so proud of it. I was so proud of it, and I brought it to my grandmother. And I think it was a box cake
Oh.
too. She was like, "It got good flavor, but it's some dry." Next time, I was so hurt. I was like, "This."
Oh no.
Mhm.
Markel, I know you were about to say something. What were you getting ready to share?
Now I was gonna say Joyce has that determination. That's another trait moms have. She was determined to serve that entree, even though it wasn't looking right. She was determined to feed the kids, so it's okay. But I honestly watched you cooking. That's how I felt. I felt accomplished making my first pancake. Doing that first
Pancake.
flip, that first stir. You got to take it one step at a time. I think I'll be baking maybe next year, 2021. I might start baking. We got to take it one step at a time.
That's true.
Amen.
Start with cookies. Cookies are the easiest thing. Start with cookies.
Okay, maybe December
Yeah.
2020.
Mm,
I'll do cookies. I'll do
Yeah.
cookies December 2020, and I'll segue into okay. I got
yeah.
He
it.
said
Yeah.
December 2020. He got a long time to think
We gotta
about
I
it.
wait.
know.
Right, we gotta
Right.
wait. We gotta wait. We gotta practice a little bit. I gotta practice on the
He
easy
got
bake oven
goals.
first.
That's his
Easy bake
goal.
oven first, and then take it to the stove.
He
No,
said
I need this in
easy
my
bake
eye.
oven. Easy bake oven. That's funny.
Right. Right.
No, I can't say I've learned some cooking stuff. I'm not the chef like my mom and my grandmother, but my brother actually got that trait from them.
Oh
He's a
yeah,
really phenomenal cook.
he is. He
I
really
do a
is.
little baking, but I just found out my husband bakes way better than me, so I don't do the baking no more.
Okay. It's always
Mm,
good to share that responsibility when somebody can,
Hmm.
barbecue or cook, and then the other person can bake and do little other stuff. So it's all that's fun. So
mhm.
it's always good. I've always taught my son to be independent and not have to rely on a woman to take care of him to do those things. So as a mother, that was important to me also to just teach him how to wash his clothes, clean his room, those type of things. So I prided myself in that. Like, I'm gonna show my son how to do these things so he won't feel like I need to have a woman in my life in order to get these things done. So
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
That's important.
it is important.
It is.
Well, I'm just excited. I don't want to take up, we don't want to take up you guys' day. So we just want to say thank you to all the mothers out there. You guys are amazing. You're awesome. you're just all that. And as a bougie mom, we're all that. We're bold, we're one of a kind, we're unbothered, we're God's girls, intentional, and we're elegant. So we are so grateful to have this time with you this afternoon. Happy Mother's Day, everyone. And did anyone else have anything they want to share? I don't want to just cut people off. Does
I
anyone have
do.
any
I,
last
I want to.
minute?
I do. I want to say something else too. You know, God has really blessed me. Not only did I have a phenomenal mother, but I have a phenomenal mother in law. And, you know, I know we say mother in love now. It
Yeah,
didn't start out in love, but I'm so in love with her now. She has been
yeah,
just such a great asset in my life. And, you know, I thank God every day for her because of what she did with giving me her son. So I'm thankful for my mother in love, Lucille Houston. And I ask God every day to continue to bless her because she's what we have now. My husband's father has passed on, my dad has passed on, and my mother has passed on, but we still have my beautiful mother in love. So I thank God for Lucille
blessing.
Houston. Yeah.
Amen.
And we always want to have that relationship with our mother-in-laws, or like you said, mother-in-laws, or dads. We want to have that relationship, and I want to be that type of mother in love for my children, for my son especially, because I'm very protective of their hearts. So my daughter, she kind of
Hmm.
fights against me when I try to tell her about these young men.
Me too.
So she fights against it, and but I want to make sure that's another prayer that I have as a mother. Lord, make sure that you connect them with the person that you have for them, the right person. We don't want to have the legacy of divorce being left behind. I went through a divorce. My children were there in the thick of it, when I was going through my divorce. And I just really don't want them to experience that. I really don't want them to have to deal with that. So that's a vigilant prayer of mine. Lord, I just pray that they, you know, connect them with a person that they can be with for a lifetime. They learn how to work out their differences when they're in their valley moments. Lord, give them the strength to come out of it and to be successful, because every marriage is going to have its ups and downs. It's not going to be perfect. It's not
That's
going
right.
to be like, oh my gosh, we're just happy all day long, and all these great things are happening. But when you're in your valley moment, how can we make it through? And I want them to have that tenacity and that strength to make it through. So, that's a prayer you want to, and I want to be a good mother in love to my children's spouses. I don't want to be possessive or overbearing. I want to give them their space and help them to grow. So,
Hmm.
Hmm.
yeah. So, anybody else have anything they want to share before we log
I
off for
think we're
today?
good. Just happy Mother's Day, and
Happy Mother's Day to all the ladies.
I'll send you your flowers virtually.
Right. And y'all see these flowers behind me. I don't know if
I
y'all can
know.
see them. I know my
Oh,
directions off.
Markel, she been bragging about these flowers since
Look, these are
yesterday.
some these are
Oh
some I
yeah.
found, so don't try to do me.
My
Oh,
bad,
they're
Elena. I
Right
ain't mean
beautiful.
to.
here.
I ain't mean to do
They
that.
are beautiful.
Look, two
She been
dozen.
she been nonstop talking about
Look,
these
Yeah.
flowers.
yes,
Hey,
baby.
you know what I had to? I had to give her something that she, I wasn't gonna do the fake ones though, but I was like, nah, this time I'm gonna do some real ones.
Right. I mean, they are like a hot pink. They're beautiful. Two dozen. I was shocked. I was like, oh my gosh, oh my goodness.
You sitting there
Yeah,
counting them, huh?
I be
Right.
right each one. I think.
Right. So I was like, just very grateful. Like I said, my son always comes through. I've never made him feel like a husband. Like he has
Amen.
to be there, like, oh, to be my companion. I never want him to feel that way with me, like, oh, this overbearing helicopter mom or whatever, or just be this mom that looked to him for companionship. I always kind of pushed him away a little bit, not intentionally, but just I didn't want him to feel like he had to be responsible for my happiness or responsible for anything that. But when I see him as a young man growing up and he does little things, it just makes my heart, glad, because I'm like, oh my goodness, and he always texts me, Mom, this lady told me I'm a gentleman and to thank my mom and all this other stuff. So I'm just like, oh my, I did something right. So, I mean, it's being a mother is hard, but I mean, the rewards from it is just such a blessing.
Yes.
Hmm.
I'm
Nice.
thankful every day that I am a mother.
Me too.
I am too
Very
when my daughter
grateful.
is not screaming and crying on the ground.
That seems
I,
to be over
I,
soon.
I just want to make it through this phase.
Yes, okay. You will. You will. Oh my gosh, I'm not
You
even
will.
looking forward. I'm not even looking forward to that. Like, well, I guess that
Look,
only. Go
I
ahead.
even have a story about that, honey. Your mama didn't put up with that. I
I
remember
don't put up with it
Judy.
neither.
Judy, my middle girl, she had one temper tantrum, one. Because, people say, oh, the terrible twos, they just going to have temper tantrums. I'm like, really? We were it was D.H. Homes back then. So y'all know this was a long time ago. It's now Dillard's.
Oh,
It
Oh,
was D.H. Homes. We were in D.H. Homes, and my daughter threw a temper tantrum, threw her body across the floor in the store. Her
oh
mama
no.
walked over her and didn't look back. That
Wow.
tantrum did not last long. I mean, as quickly as she threw her body down, when she saw her mama wasn't going to pay attention and kept walking, she got
Right.
up, straightened her little self up, and got caught up with me. I didn't even look back at her because I wasn't going to put up with that. But
Right.
somehow I tolerated with these grandchildren, though. I don't know what's wrong with me. I need to toughen up with them.
I've been hearing that from everybody. The grandchildren, it's a little harder, I guess, to really, um, discipline or, just be hard on the grandchildren. It's just, I don't know. I'm
Well,
thankful
the
that
real
I'm not
grandma Joy
that.
starting to
So,
show up with them now that they're older, and I know they have great understanding because my grandchildren, and I'm not bragging, I know every grandparent probably thinks like this, but my
mhm.
grandchildren are brilliant. They really are. I mean, and I don't know about other people's grandchildren, but I know my grandchildren are brilliant. And I know they get it from their grandmother because I raised their parents, and I know their
oh
parent. No,
Lord.
I'm just kidding.
Right.
No, my children were pretty smart, but my
Right.
grandchildren are brilliant,
Well,
and
we
they
know
have great
at
understanding.
least one of your children is smart.
Uh-oh.
Well, all of my children are smart, and
Don't
my
start with
grandchildren
it.
are brilliant. But now that they're older and they have good understanding, I don't tolerate as much as I used to when they were smaller. Yeah, I'm getting
Right.
on them now because if we don't correct those behaviors, they're going to think it's okay to continue with those, and so that's not going to happen on my watch.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's good.
mean, it's just we all. I don't never want to say I have a favorite child, but they're all different.
I
I
do.
treat them differently because you only have one, so you can say that.
Thank you.
He only has one. No, but my
Oh wow.
kids really, that middle child syndrome. I don't know. It's something about it because my daughter gave me the blues about it with her little brother, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I still love you, but so I'm not understanding what's happening. So that was a challenging time as a mother, but overall,
Hmm.
It's the
motherhood
middle
is
children. It's always the middle people.
I know.
Right.
Are you the middle child, Lena? Is that what we're saying?
Well,
No,
I
I'm
just
the
think
baby.
I just think the middle children, they're very special, because they are literally caught in the middle of everything. I mean, they're not the youngest, they're not the oldest. They're just in the middle. But the relationship that develops out of the middle child, I'm telling you, my middle daughter, I remember we used butt heads, butt heads, butt heads. But when she left home for the first time to go off to college, this child started calling me just in the middle of the day for nothing. And I'm like, as a mother, when your child calls you, you think something
Right.
is wrong. I'm like, what's the matter? She's like, nothing, mom. I just called to say hello. I'm like, really?
That's what my daughter did to me. I was like feeling all extra
So
special, like, wow, she likes me.
So trust me, the relationship will be more than what you ever expected because now Judith and I, we are just two peas in a pot. Of course, she's the only one that's here with me in Texas. So I do get to see her,
That's the only
not as
reason.
much as I like to, but a little more than the other two because they're not in the same state.
Right.
So don't worry, Miranda. The relationship with you and your daughter is evolving and it will be very good because she knows she has a good mother. She knows, even though the things that you're telling her now that she doesn't like, she
Right.
knows it's for her good because she knows that's what you expect for her, only good.
Right.
And she'll come around. I mean, it's going to
Right.
be one of the best things that's ever happened.
I received that because that young
Yeah.
lady gives me the blues. But I
Well,
believe that it's going to turn around, and I'm just every relationship I have with my children, the three of them, is very unique, and they're just such a
Mhm.
blessing to me, and I'm very thankful. So love you, Markel. Thank
Amen.
you,
Love
my
you too.
ride
Not a
or
Thank you,
problem.
die.
guys.
you her
Thank you too,
favorite
Joyce and Elena.
on this flight.
No,
Elena trying to start mess.
I later start mess.
Right. Elena trying to start mess. No, I just talk because he's older. He's like a young man, and I just want to encourage. Black men need encouragement
Yeah,
these
I
days.
know.
I
I
try
know.
to encourage
I'm just
my
Yeah, they
kidding.
do.
son every time I get a chance and tell him that he's amazing, he's awesome, because they need that right now, especially with everything that's going on. I always try to lift him up and just be there as a black woman to make sure he knows that he's loved. And so, I mean, I do probably talk him up a little bit more now that he's older. I probably didn't do a lot of it when he was younger, but now,
Yeah.
I'm so proud of him. Look at he's agreeing. So anyway, um, you
I'll
know,
just be messy. I'm like, I was gonna say,
right?
yeah. I thought you only
Right.
had one child because you only talk about Markel. I'm just
Right.
playing. I'm just.
See,
Elena,
y'all making me feel
Deshawn,
good. See.
Houston
Oh,
Stevens. I'm gonna get you bad.
look,
Hey, thanks, Elena. You making me feel good. Now I'm about
I
to be feeling
know.
good
Look.
all day. Man,
Oh,
thank you
okay.
so much.
Here she goes. Look,
She
just
done
start
started something. Now I'm
mess.
about to be
Cut
twitching
it.
on the phone. Like, Mama, okay.
Well,
Oh, really?
Markel, I know all three
Oh,
of Miranda's children, and trust me, she gives y'all equal dibs.
I
she
think,
do.
yeah, I agree.
Thank
She
you,
I
Joyce,
do.
agree.
for
Yeah,
having
I
my
agree.
she
badass
loves her
here.
children. She loves her children. Trust
She
me,
does.
I have
She
cried
does.
with her for y'all. So yeah, she
Yeah.
loves her children,
She
like
do.
all
She do.
mothers.
I'm just
That
kidding.
really, yeah,
I
yeah,
miss
she loves her
y'all. I
children.
miss you.
I
Oh
agree.
my gosh. I'm gonna see y'all this summer if they let us travel.
Miss you too, Mom.
Yeah,
Miss you
she's
too.
gonna see y'all this summer, and it's
Yeah, I
gonna be
can't wait to see her.
good.
I know
Or
it.
Yeah, we
or
all
just
miss
go
her
ahead
too. We
and
looking
go
forward
ahead
to
and
her
wear your
coming.
hazmat suit and drive down to them. That's all.
Girl, that 25-hour drive. I don't know if I want to do that. Girl,
How many
that
hours?
was a 25. I don't think I could do that again. That was rough.
Look,
No.
Look at Joy. She like, we can go. Joyce, we gotta come.
look. I did 18 by myself, so I understand.
Right.
Recently.
Not.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a journey, but I'm
All right,
grateful to be
guys.
in Texas finally. So, all right. Well, love you guys. Happy Mother's Day, everyone. Thank you
Happy
for
Mother's
joining
You
us.
Day.
too.
Have a great
Happy
You too,
day.
Mother's
guys.
Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Bye.
You guys have a
Bye.
blessed day.
Bye bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
And